All right. Well, thanks a lot, everybody, for being here on this kind of fallish kind of summer day. Even though it's the dog days of summer, it's kind of nice out these last couple of days. Actually, I sat out on my patio yesterday and just did some work out on the patio for about 4 hours. I had my laptop out there. It was about 75, and the sun's going down. It was nice. So even though it's summertime, it feels like fall. So before we get started, we got some really good information today. I mean, you guys are going to really be glad you showed up today. I mean, this is stuff that you can take and apply to your businesses and get leads and do marketing and get results with this stuff. I really believe that. So, but before we get into that, I just wanted to kind of say thanks to a couple of folks. First of all, Moosey Productions, Tara Roberts, you do videography and photography. So if you guys have any events, she always does a wonderful job at capturing this event. She puts up videos and photos of the event, and so let's say thanks to her. Do you have anything you want to say to everybody, or what kind of events do you like to do, or that you've done in the past? Or?
I do a lot of sporting events. I also do nonprofits, corporate events, and I do small business promotions for websites.
Okay.
On your card.
I'll be out of card.
I'll pass it on.
Also, one of our sponsors, Jim Gibbons and Karen Nick in the back there, they do retirement planning and financial advisors with G&M Investment Group. And so if you guys have like an old 401k sitting around at an old job or something like that, you really should roll that into an IRA, really. And they're the folks that can do it. So if you get a second, talk to Karen in the back there, and she'll get you all set up. And then I'd like to thank the O'Callahan Hotel. They always host us here, and everything's always great and goes over really well. So it's a great hotel. And also, we're looking for another sponsor. We'd like to have some more stuff like hors d'oeuvres or some food out and stuff like that. So any money that we get, we put back into the group. And Tony and I always end up putting a little bit out of our pockets into this and a lot of our time. So if there's anyone out there that's looking to sponsor this event, and then we have an announcement tonight on some other stuff that we could package together for a sponsorship to get in front of more folks. So if anybody's interested, let me know. With that said, one thing that we like to do with this group is that it's entrepreneurial. Everybody's here to wait. I don't see. Where did Marlo go? It's not here. One thing that we like to do is have an a cappella pitch where one company can come up and for 90 seconds come up and just tell about your company or your service or what it is that you do, and let everybody know what it is. So does anybody want to do that? Want to volunteer? Just jump up on the spot and do it?
Sure.
Yeah. She had her hand up first.
All right, well, there we go.
So yeah, introduce yourself and tell us about your company.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Krista Wardell. I'm based in the BWI airport area, and I have an event venue / conference center called Center of Town. Got 2 large 1,800 square foot halls and also sublease offices, but they're all filled up at the time. We do some meetings by the hour type of thing, but most of it is a multiple hour event, all day training events and whatnot. We are full service. We have audio visual. We can arrange catering, any kind of setup that you want. We can help support that for you. So we also, out of our location, run a seasonal bike rental, obviously unrelated, but it's right by the BWI Loop. And so that's been actually a pretty good startup this summer. And so come on out and ride the loop, as we say. So,
cool, thanks for doing that. I was on the spot. That was really good, actually. So now we have Repay Vets, and this is a great business. So go ahead.
Hello, my name is Marlon Terrell. I am the co-founder of Repay Vets. I am also still a lieutenant commander in the United States Navy Reserves. And Repay Vets is a crowdfunding platform that allows military veterans to raise funds for whatever their needs may be, whether it's to start a business or to get their wife on a honeymoon. That's essentially the story. So
that's a great business. I mean, really. It really is. You guys are, you work out at the Maryland Center for Entrepreneurship,
yeah,
where we're also members at the ICAT incubator there. So,
please, if you know other vets out there, please tell them our story and tell them to check us out.
Repayvets.com.
That's the goal.
Repay Vets.
Yeah.
do you have a card?
Yes, sir.
All right, you might
Cool.
want to-
So 2 great pitches. That was very good. So Tony, the co-organizer of the group, couldn't be here today. He had a wedding tomorrow in Connecticut, and also his grandfather, who normally joins the group, who we love here, and so they're both up in Connecticut. Let me ask this: how many people here haven't been here before? Okay, so new faces, yes. So we appreciate you guys, and we appreciate the folks that come each time. You know, I wanted to kind of get a feel for something. I'm from Annapolis, and I love it here. You know, I've been living here my whole life, and you know, when Chris is my co-founder at SurveySnap, and when we started the company, we started thinking, well, eventually we're going to have to move to Baltimore or DC or Columbia when we move our company to start growing it. And that was kind of the initial thinking, but we started thinking, you know, why couldn't we have the company here in Annapolis? And, you know, because think about it, when's the last time you brought someone to Annapolis and they didn't like it here? You know, especially in the summertime, you introduce somebody to Annapolis, they always walk away and saying, oh, what a great town. I love it here. And you know, since I love living here, I thought, why can't we establish a startup here? And why can't we grow a company here? And so we started throwing around the idea of having a co-working space to help facilitate that. I know we've been getting a lot of positive feedback from this group, and everybody says, wow, we really enjoy the energy and the information that's going on. So we've been kind of floating that idea of a co-working space, and I sent out a poll, I guess a couple weeks ago, and got a lot of positive feedback and people that wanted to do it. So I'll ask, well, how many people here live in Annapolis or the immediate surrounding area? Okay. How many of you would want to work in a co-working space from time to time, a place to drop into and be around other entrepreneurs or be around an energetic bunch and maybe do some collaborative activities? Is anybody interested in that? Okay, so about 7 or 8. Okay. Let me ask you this. Out of the people that said yes, would you rather be, and I'll ask one than the other, but would you rather be more in the downtown area, or would it be better to be out by the highways, like up by the mall where there's more parking, more space? So downtown, who's more interested in downtown or Eastport? Okay, who's interested more in the uptown? Okay, gotcha. I was just trying to get an idea. You know, it's kind of, not that Annapolis is split into 2 sides, but you know, there's definitely kind of the downtown Eastport area, and then the kind of Parole kind of caps off with the Parole area out there in the Westgate and the end of West Street. And okay, cool. I was just trying to get a feel for that. So today we have a topic that I think is, well, it's really special to me because I've always done the marketing and lead generation for my real estate company and for SurveySnap. And so this is a topic that I feel really strongly about. And we have 2 guests that are going to be coming up that have a ton of experience. You'll be sharing some really good information with you guys. So why don't you guys come on up, and I'd like to introduce these guys. Have a seat. We're just going to have a panel discussion. This is really an open discussion. We're going to kind of start it with some questions and start talking, but we also want to get you guys involved and any questions you have specifically about your business. And I thought before we kind of introduce them, maybe what we would do is, since this is kind of, you know, it's the end of summer, a lot of people are on vacation, but that gives us an opportunity to be a little bit more intimate with the group today. So I thought maybe we could do is just go around in a quick 30 seconds about your name and your business, and also if you could say 2 things for me. This was Tommy's idea, is just say what you're really strong at in your business, and then maybe something that you could improve on or something that you need help with. Is that cool? All right, why don't we start over here and just go down the road.
Crystal Wardell, center of town. So I think I'm strong at seeing the bigger vision and the out years and how you can grow, but I'm not so strong in managing the day-to-day operations and keeping track of all the finer details, I'd say month to month.
Ken Fisher with Fisher IT Solutions, and what I do is small business consulting. So I work with offices of 10 people or less and help them kind of take control of their IT and figure out how to make smarter decisions about the time and money that they're investing in their business. I come from a big business background. I worked for George Washington University for 10 years in IT. Before that, I worked for Digex. So what I do is I try to apply what I learned in big business and kind of distill that down to what makes sense for small business with the background I've got as an entrepreneur. So I'm good at seeing how we can apply those concepts. I'm not so good sometimes at either saying no or saying slow down, and I take on too much. Being on my own, it's a challenge.
Matthew Ironman, HD Scores. We aggregate publicly available government data into an easy-to-read and search format, starting with health department inspection data. So day-to-day operations and, I guess, structural growth within a company, strengths, market copy, and those releases, and some of the written communications, I'd say is probably my weaker points, but yeah.
Hi, Margaret Ledane, Health Coaching, and I work with women to improve their health, lose weight, and heal their digestive issues mostly. And I would say I'm good at creating my programs and working with my clients, and I'm really bad at marketing because I don't like it. Because I don't like it at all.
Karen Nick with G&M Investment Group, and we manage and design investment portfolios for individuals and also small business 401ks. I'd say my strength is building relationships and building trust, and my weakness is public speaking. So, working on that.
My name's Quinn Harris. I'm with Harris Litho. We are a somewhat local printing company. We're just off the Beltway and Route 50. We are a commercial printing company, and we also produce and manufacture signs and banners. We've been around for 30 years or so. My strengths are, and what I also enjoy is sales, interaction with people. That's the fun part of my job. My weakness is my father's somewhat trying to work himself out, and I'm finding my weakness, and I know this is my weakness, is handling the day-to-day operations the way they should be held. So I'm having a lot of problems with time management along with being a dad. So it seems like there's just never the right amount of time. That 10 hours really goes quick. So, but I'm here to learn how to market the company.
Hi, my name is Bethany Hobbs. I'm a commercial real estate broker, and I focus on tenants only. I don't represent space, I represent the tenants. So my passion and my strength is helping people, and I like to shepherd people, especially who don't know this process, through it. And that doesn't just mean ending where the lease is signed. I'll work you through getting furniture and making sure the construction is on time and done correctly. So the passion is and the strength is helping people. My weakness would be finding the time to make sure it's all done correctly. There just are not enough hours in the day to manage the process side and making sure everyone's happy and content. I mean, it's a heart issue. So.
Hi, Kaheman with IdeaShare Business Coaching. I help owners of successful small and medium-sized businesses to deal with sales, marketing, turning employees into a team, succession planning, things like that. My strength is to really help the business owner define where the actual problem is, because sometimes when I talk to them, they say, well, this is my problem, but turns out that it's not really, it's something just next to it. Weakness is probably more the administrative aspect of running my own business.
Hi, I'm Michael Onabogu. I own a software solutions company called Namsys, and we do everything from web development to customized enterprise solutions, mobile development, anything, data entry, data solutions. I would say my strengths are coming up with really good ideas and developing those ideas, building them, especially if it's something that's completely custom built, custom developed. And then my weakness is basically, I think, taking too much at one time. Basically, overloading myself with a lot of stuff. So yeah.
I know the feeling. I'm Mike Flynn. I'm with Beach Street Capital. My strengths are IT. I do everything from software development and networking, wide area networking, voice over IP. My weaknesses are definitely networking and navigating the politics of a company.
My name is Robert Schiffman with Chesapeake Facilities Management and Services. Company's geared to providing facilities maintenance and services to the small to medium-sized business owner. My strength is probably crisis management I thrive on that. And weakness is probably marketing and sales.
Jim Hodges Audiobooks. I've been recording for 15 years, and I market almost exclusively to the homeschool market now. And I do very well at convention sales, face-to-face sales. I do very well at marketing to my existing database of customers. I'm not good at reaching outside of that universe of customers and the potential customers and breaking out of that box. That's what I'm here to find out. How do I break out of the homeschool market and get into the general audiobook market? And going back to that same well has been working fine, but it's also keeping me right here. I want to go up here. I don't want to keep going here.
I'm Will Schweitzer with Haven Luxury Home Services. We're a home management and personal concierge services company. We also do commercial concierge services for condominiums and large apartment buildings. We're particularly good at client relations and long-term relationship management, and I'm finding out we're particularly bad with tax accounting and scaling our business.
So my name's Chris Day. I'm Ryan's business partner and co-founder with ServiceNap. My weaknesses are definitely top-down leadership and time management, but I follow up with strengths and sort of finding the critical path and problem solving.
My name is Kathy Mansell. I'm the advertising representative in the area for the Washington Post. And we have a variety of products at the Post that a lot of people don't necessarily know about, such as Capital Business, which would be good for many of the folks here, that focuses on reaching the CEO decision maker. That's published every Monday. My strength is working with small businesses with small budgets. I've been doing that for a long time. My weakness is personal time management and social networking. Those are areas I need help with. Kathy with the Washington Post.
I'm Tammy Stubaker, and I'm with Meluca. It's consumer direct sales, and I would say my strength is developing people, a team of people, motivating. My weakness is that I often won't let it lie when someone doesn't want to build and excel. I have to just walk away and let them do their thing if they don't want to do it.
Hi, I'm Susan Wilkes. My company name is Business Suites. We are a Class A space at the Annapolis Town Center. Just opened 3 months ago. We have 40 beautifully furnished, full-service turnkey offices. We also do virtual space. I think my strengths are customer service and taking care of the client. And my weakness is probably spreading myself too thin, trying to do it all as you have a small little company that you're trying to build and grow, just trying to be in too many places at once a lot of times. So that's my weakness.
Hi, my name's Carl Palladino. I'm with Scale Finance. We provide fractional CFO services and capital raise services for small and growing businesses as well as accounting. Basically what it is rent a CFO for small businesses that may not be able to afford a full-time CFO. You can rent a CFO a day a week, a day a month, whatever you need. My strength is networking and building leads personally. My weakness is marketing and finding a way to get more leads that I can work on from either direct mail, direct email, or social media, whatever the case may be.
Hi, Rachel Asperger. I'm the marketing manager for an HR outsourcing firm called Human Resources, Inc. So if you're a startup, small to mid-sized business, we will run your payroll. We do benefits, 401k, workers' comp, HR, employee handbook, unemployment, everything. My strength is building relationships and maintaining customer relations, and my weakness is saying no and sticking to the plan. If it were up to me, we'd sponsor everything. So I need to focus and make sure that the market that we're hitting is really what we should be hitting.
Well, again, my name is Marlon Terrell, and I am the co-founder of Repay Vets, a crowdfunding platform for military veterans. My strength is understanding people and knowing if you repeat things over and over, they'll probably, I could do a lot better job of understanding the technology aspect of the company.
It's good to get to kind of know everybody. You can kind of get away with that when we have a little bit smaller crowd, so I appreciate everybody shipping in. And so what I want to do now is kind of introduce our folks here and give you a little bit about their background. Directly to my right is Tommy Lee. He's a trained martial artist. In fact, he was in, there's a lot of stuff, so I wrote it down, but he was inducted into the National and International Martial Arts Hall of Fame. He earned an award from Chuck Norris for teaching successful business principles during the UFAF National Conference designed to help martial artist schools to be proficient in business principles. His first martial arts studio in its first year was ranked in the top 5% nationally for number of students and in top 3% for revenue. That was really impressive. He's trained thousands of entrepreneurs with these techniques. He's appeared on the Brian Tracy Show on NBC and CBS. He was recognized by USA Today as one of America's emerging business leaders and has also co-authored many best-selling books. So thanks for being with us today. On the end is Danny Bendeva. He has 20 years of experience in entrepreneurship, marketing strategy, and business development. He co-founded DAASN in 2009, which does marketing, internet strategy, and social media, so for learning the social media stuff. He works with everyone from solopreneurs to Fortune 45 companies. And one thing that I know about Danny just from being online, when it comes to social media, and I know that he's really good at this because on LinkedIn, you know when you get more than 500 connections, it says 500 plus? Well, down below that, you get the endorsements. And when I flipped down, you know, I didn't know that you could max out the endorsements. He had 99 plus endorsements for social media marketing and entrepreneurship. And I thought that was pretty amazing. And I said, wow, this guy really knows social media. So when it comes to this stuff, there's no doubt that we can definitely say that Danny's a maven when it comes to social media, amongst other things. So thanks for being with us. So I thought we would just dive right in and get into some content, some stuff that we can really use. And I wanted to kind of kick off the conversation. By the way, if you have questions or stuff pops up, just jump right in. We want to keep this kind of laid back. But I think a good place to start is marketing, in my opinion, is more than just a method of advertising. It has to do with what your offer is, right? So maybe you guys could talk each about what is the relationship between what a company has to offer and what their success rate is with their efforts to get more customers. What would you say? Do you want to start here?
Sure. Well, before you even get into that, I heard a lot of people talk about managing the day-to-day things and getting overwhelmed. So whether it's getting new sales or new business or whether it's your marketing, the one thing that we teach, I do a lot of masterminds and a lot of business coaching. And the thing that most people fail on, they're really good at what their niche is. And they have to wear a lot of hats in their business. And whether it's the marketing, your sales, whether it's the advertising or whatever it is, what people don't have is they don't have a yearly plan. They don't have the big picture, no matter what your business is. Just say it was the martial arts business. Okay, what times of the year are the times that people are buying gifts, like Christmas, right? What times are the kids going to be out of school, right? What time are the kids going into school? So in my own business, I'd say, okay, well, when they go back to school, they're going to be worried about getting bullied, right? When they get out of school, they're going to worry about stranger danger type of things because they're all over the place, right? Christmas time, moms are in the mall and the kids are all out, right? Plus they're buying gifts. New Year's, people try to lose weight. So identify within your own business before you even have your marketing plan on where the strengths are of that. And so that you develop your marketing plan that way. You can do your internal promotions and your external promotions, whether you're paying for it or whether it's no cost or low cost. Okay? And the same thing with your media. Okay? When you get when you have your slipping my mind now. Not endorsements. Your public. No, not testimonials.
PR.
Yeah, your PR. When you do something, you get out in the paper and things that I don't know why it's slipping my mind. I talk about it all the time. Your press releases. Okay, and what fits you best? Then what you do is you have your yearly plan, your monthly plan. You break it down towards your weeks, and then you have set action plans for each thing. And if you know when something's due, you have to have it. Like most people, when they do their advertising and marketing, they think of this then what they do, and they have an event like this, say for an example, then a month or two before this, they're so focused on finishing up, getting the materials printed and doing the hotel that they don't fill the space. See, so a lot of times we get caught up when we do the marketing at the last minute, and we're doing all this stuff to put it together versus the things to fill the room. And when you fill the room is when you're going to have the access to build relationships. Then when you build those relationships, you're going to have clients. And if you continue with those clients, and then the other thing for marketing is your B2Bs. The gentleman that wants to go from the homeschool market to the other ones, right? A lot of people that are in your homeschool that you already have as clients have that same capacity to introduce you to those other markets you want. But if you're one for everyone, then you're not special. You don't have your niche.
One of the things I want to do, I'm having my website redone in WordPress because I know I can do affiliate arrangements with other people in a WordPress-based website. So now they can be my loudspeaker to their friends and the people that they know, and hopefully we can multiply those efforts over and over by having people be affiliate salesmen on my behalf.
Right.
And that might get me out of the homeschooling and into a more of a general market.
Because the idea is to duplicate yourself. Because you can work hard all you want. I mean, I love what I do, and I do it because I like to. I don't do it because I have to. You know, except for this year, because I had some family things that I had to stay around for medical issues. But the last 3 years, I traveled 315 to 350 days for the year. I mean, I was gone almost the entire time doing marketing, doing learning from Brian Tracy and all those guys, and doing masterminds and learning myself and doing seminars. However, whether I was working or not, gone, I wasn't working on my local business, the martial arts school. We have about 700 to 800 students. But it grows because I have a great staff. And I know everything that's going on. And I can look at any time on my phone because I have cameras and I can see what's going on. So if you have your daily things planned, everything else will fall in place, if that makes sense. If you're running all, like crisis management, right? If you're at the last minute every time, then you're not maximizing the dollars that you're spending on advertising or the one thing that you can never replace, which is your time. So I didn't mean to get off too on the thing, but if you get the marketing and you don't have the rest of it, you're still not going to produce what you can.
And I think that was on topic. It was kind of saying you got to get your business straight before you start advertising.
Right.
You got to understand the overall plan.
The worst thing you can do is have your marketing, have somebody come to you and not have it ready.
Right. You're putting leads in the funnel and you can't even handle them. It's like putting gas in your car before you put all the parts together.
Right.
And I kind of have a question on his behalf because it relates to some of the things that I do. So he's profitable, you're profitable doing homeschooling.
I do it full time.
How do you keep that and add another thread?
Yeah. Especially as a sole proprietor living out of an RV.
If you don't mind, I can answer this because I'll answer everybody else's. Your format. So what takes your time then with your current clients that you can't? Like right now, you say you have your clients.
Well, you said you were on the road 350 out of 360.
315.
15.
And 1 year, 350.
So you gave yourself a lot of time off there, yeah.
I had fun. I didn't say I didn't have fun. I just said I wasn't in Annapolis.
I just got back from a 5-month-long road trip, basically, doing homeschool conventions from April to the end of July.
Right.
We just got back. So right now I'm just doing cleanup. In the middle of all of that, I had an email going out 3 times a month. This is the sale item this month, mid-month reminder, last chance email. They know the routine now. My customers know the routine. What I'm trying to do is keep that going while at the same time, and I can do that because it's not exactly boilerplate, but I have good relationship with my customers. I'm very personable in my emails, but I'm selling them something every month. Right now we've got my annual sale is back to school, like you said, and that's part of my annual marketing plan. I always have a new product come out on December 1st because I sell a boatload of CDs for Christmas presents. Back to school, and that's about it really. I should do a summer drive time special.
So what I'm saying is that to duplicate your business, what you have to do is you say, okay, here's what I do for my current clients, right? Mm-hmm. How can I get more time? Well, anything that you have to do the same more than 2 or 3 times, you should automate. Okay, just like in the business, the one part of the business that we have is when we match people that need money with people that have money for investors, right? So the biggest problem with us is because we charge a certain amount per hour, some of my business associates said, well, look, we're doing this, but I don't really have time for 5 or 6 hours to educate the small entrepreneur about what they're gonna have to go through when they meet somebody, that's going to invest $200 or $500 or $1 million in our company, right? And she goes, but we always have to educate that person over and over again. And I said, well, you do have to educate them because they don't know. So what you need to do is you need to put it on tape. You need to put it on a DVD or a training thing. So when I turn you over,
I'll record that.
So what I'm saying, so what I'm saying is, well, I'm just saying one part of duplication is if I had to come in and explain to you something, then I might take those segments and then put it here. Now when I have a new client, I say, listen, before we get started, what I need you to do is I need you to look at these tutorials so you can understand what it means to have your business plan ready for an investor, what your exit plan is, what your exit strategy is, what your burn rate is, and all these other kinds of things. He's not going to pay me a couple $100 an hour to consult him. It's not worth my time to do that if I'm working on a commission. Does that make sense? If I'm going to get you $1 million and I'm going to make a big commission, I don't want to spend 30 hours educating you, right? But I need to. So then what I told them is, put that down on video so then you can duplicate your efforts. Because every hour I spend educating this person, I could be networking and building more things. Plus the information that I give him is information they can get from the video, right? So what you do is you take a look at what you do that takes your time, and is that increasing your business and keeping your customers loyal, or is it busy work? Like right now, I had to have a list made that somebody gave to me and it wasn't separated properly, and there's about 700 names on it. So I called up my VA, okay, in the Philippines. I gave it to her. She got it done just like that. If I would have put my own staff on that or me, then they would have had to either work late and not teach, or they would have had to do something else, or I had to have been stressed out before I came here, right? So whatever things that you have in your business, say, here's what takes up my time, and then circle the ones that can be outsourced to the right person that's good at it. Like I can cut.
I'm the voice talent, so I do the recording, but I have somebody else do the editing. Not only do I hate doing it, but it's something that I can pay somebody else to do, and then I listen to it when I get back and make whatever corrections need to be made. So I'm with you, is what I'm saying.
Right.
I agree with you.
So if you want to you have to duplicate your efforts, because if you just pile more time on it, because the ultimate thing isn't making more money. It's being able to spend time with your family and do the things you want to do. And money can help you with that, and if you don't have it, it can't. So usually people either have money or they have time. They don't have both. Okay, so when you want to expand your business or do a other thing, then use other people's energies or find out what's holding you back, and you can fix it that way.
It's kind of the whole plan to work the plan mentality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to work smart, not hard.
Danny, do you have anything you want to weigh in on that, or?
What I was thinking about initially is a lot of times when I engage with clients, I do an assessment, and the biggest part of my assessment is trying to figure out where they are, and then where to get them to before they start utilizing their resources towards getting more clients. So I totally concur. The whole idea of automating a business, I'm all about that. I mean, I'm in the middle of automating my company. We can only help but so many people, be able to spend time with 10 clients the way we'd like to. You either have to grow out staff-wise, or you automate your products and services. And our company's in the process of automating about 35 products. We're rolling out about 10 in a couple weeks. We're going through testing this week, and the whole idea is that you can sleep and make money. You don't have to keep hiring. It's the way to go. And yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, a lot of the challenge of having a service business. So my real estate company is a service business, and the biggest challenge of growing that is duplicating yourself, or taking a process that you know is there and that works, and duplicating that where you don't have to be there to do it. So that stuff's that's right on. And if you haven't, there's a book I know that I was introduced to a long time ago called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and if you haven't read that, you need to pick that up and read it. And if you haven't read it in a while, go back and read it. I've read it several times throughout my career, and I always got something different out of it because it meant something different to me because I was at a different stage, and I think that probably speaks to a lot of the stuff that you guys are talking about. Okay, good. Well, that once you kind of get control of your business and you kind of get things leveled out, and you have some opportunity to reach out and start putting in more marketing. Let's talk about some of the things that you can do. I heard a couple people mention that they wanted to get online more. Danny, this would be a good question for you. If someone doesn't have an online presence, what's something they can do now to kind of get started, or how would they get into having a good online presence?
Is through social media. I would identify the main players, meaning the main platforms that everybody else is on and start some accounts there. I would also identify some niche-specific platforms that are relevant in your field. So I would start those accounts and then migrate your database into them and start some type of, I don't know, you would call it a drip campaign or some type of engagement. Utilizing your database to invite people into your community, and then just sort of farming that on a regular basis, providing valued information, day to day, or come up with a schedule. And so that sort of like initially gets you engaging with people and getting some type of back and forth. If you're out and about doing this type of networking, then you can collect that data and, on a daily basis or however many days you go out networking, pull those people's information into your database and start getting them into your community. So I think that's the first and best way to start doing some networking. And I mean, then I can give you like 40 other ways after that.
I know I did that with my real estate business. I mean, over the years, I was just a networking machine, and I built a list of thousands of people. And every time we had a property for sale or we needed anything, I could always just send out an email and say, hey, I'm looking for a great electrician, or I'm looking for a handyman, or I have this house for sale and we're trying to get rid of it. I could do anything I needed. That it was so valuable to have that database of people that you had networked with. So that's important.
There's ways to expedite it. I mean, you can buy lists. You can work with others that have lists, that have networks. I mean, there's ways to definitely expedite it. But if there's limited resources or you don't have any relationships yet, that's the way to get play. Like if I knew Tom trusts me, I may ask Tom if he wouldn't mind introducing me to his network. There's different ways to speed up the process. You can buy a list of 20,000 people that are in the Annapolis area that do this for a living, that use their left arm, and you can get their email and you can get their phone number and you get their address, and then you can engage with them that way as well. So, it all depends on your situation.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, too, I think that one thing is everybody here has a specialty. Everybody here has something that somebody else could either learn from or use, correct? And a lot of times what we do is, even if you get out there, most people are knocking on doors looking for business, but they haven't gained the trust of somebody first. And so there's a lot of people that I have never met that I've been learning from, that I bought products, and I don't mean little dollars. When I spend money in consulting, like Brian Tracy and some of the other, it's $50,000 a year for me to consult with them, for me to pay them. And I only see them 3 times a year. And other people that I spend a good amount of money on. But if I didn't know them, everybody says they do a good, well, he has a reputation, so that's different, but everybody says they know things. But I've been with people that didn't know, that I never knew, and most people didn't know them. But how I got to know them is they gave free information out on the internet. Some people forwarded it to me, and I got on their list. But after a while, they kept giving me some good information. I said to myself, even if I spent this, I've already got it from them. So a lot of the information that you get, if you're a real estate agent or if you're in investing, and you get on YouTube or you get on social media, and you put out information, like I said, timely. If taxes are coming out or something of that nature, whatever your business is in, to help people with that, give them those blogs and those tidbits. So now I'm building a relationship with you. We just talked earlier, I didn't know she's been trying to get a hold of me for 6 months, okay? But now I'll answer her call, okay? And I'm busy, but I won't be too busy to answer it now because I've met her face to face and I've talked with her, okay? But everybody calls me and everybody calls you guys all the time about loans, about refinancing, about everything else. But if you build a personal relationship, or if you saw something on it that you heard that was knowledgeable or credible, then you have more of a warm market. So everybody that said something in here can put some stuff on tape that helps others. And here's the other thing we used to talk about for like authors and coaches. You don't have to have the degree to do it. If I've never been to school in my life, okay, and I went through, say a grief coach, because we helped some grief coaches. Okay, do you have to go to school to become a grief coach? Everybody says you have to have all these opportunities. How about somebody that went through it, that lost her husband, lost her family, was depressed for 6 or 7 years, then all of a sudden she found a way to minimize that from the average person losing a loved one, about 8 years, right, of certain things, down to about 1. What does she know that the other people don't? She started educating people on that. She's already an expert, more of an expert than if they went to school because she did it in her life. So everybody here that owns a business, that's already done something, the education part's one thing, but you've already done it and proved yourself. Okay, put that on video that can help other people. And then all of a sudden, now when you call on them and you say, hey, well, my name's so-and-so, oh, that's right, I think I saw him on TV, or I think I saw him on the internet. And now you have a warmer market. So the social media, like you said, when you didn't even know Danny, but if you look down there, he's got 99 plus, well, guess what? He must know what he's doing. If I go to a website guy and he's going to do one of my websites, or I'm going to consult for him, or I'm going to do something, first thing I do is I go to his website. Half the time his website stinks. So I'm not going to do business with him. You know what I mean? So, but if he was educating me all the time, even if his website was simple, you know what I mean? He still may have something I want. So when you get into the social media too, there's a lot of things that you guys can offer that you can put on those things so when you do market, they'll know who you are.
Provide value.
And you know, I think that goes back to like what we were talking about at the beginning a little bit too. Is how do you know what to provide, like what information to provide? I know one thing that I used to do is I would segment my list, so I kind of knew. Some people were buyers and investors of real estate. Some people were more shopping for homes. Some people were renters, and so I could tailor a message to them. Mm-hmm. And I kind of, in each one of those categories, I created a persona. I kind of, almost a Venn diagram of everything I had heard, and kind of took the stuff in the middle that was a commonality between everybody, and created a persona. Have you ever done anything like that, or is that prudent to do still these days, or to kind of, because if you're sending out a message, you kind of want to know your audience a little bit, and you're trying to.
Right. Well, there's a lot of different reasons or ways to market to people. And there's different methodology. You can study the market and figure out exactly who's in the market, then market to them, or you can identify who you want to target. So you can say, I only want to talk to 30-year-old people, and that's who I'm going to go after. You know, or you sort of do almost kind of like a free-for-all. But you know, a lot of the reason or the way I market for myself or for my clients is based upon identifying what that client is. And then once you're able to identify what the client is, then you can target that client. What's the story? Well, if I sell potatoes and I'm decent at selling potatoes, then I should be able to start talking about that process. And also, people are not only buying potatoes, but they're also buying lifestyle. So alongside buying a potato, they buy everyday things. Like when we have a client that sells potatoes, where sometimes we talk about the weather, sometimes we talk about sporting, sometimes we talk about things that are interested in, like financing, or how do you obtain an account, how do you obtain somebody you can invest your money with, how do you it's attaching it to the lifestyle, and then also coaching on a particular product. We work with a motorcycle company. Our approach is we like to use a lot of images, so we take a lot of photography, a lot of photographs in this one dealership that has 3 locations. We do a lot of stats. We do events for them, press releases, search engine optimization, pay-per-click, PDF submissions, article submissions. We write on topics. We try to study the market and then, provide them information that is of interest to them. I guess I'm not completely understanding the question.
Right. No. Yeah. I mean, I think it goes back to just understanding exactly what you're saying.
Well, he said target market. You said the same thing. Yeah. See, no matter what you advertise, if you're general for everybody, then you're not gonna get as much response, right? And the way to do this is, like, even though we market to a lot of people, we'll target market to certain people. So say it's martial arts, right? Or say it's funding, right? Just say it's martial arts for an example. We have kids, we have teens, we have adults, we have families. We do taekwondo, we do jiu-jitsu, we do stick and knife. We do a lot of different things. But if I advertise in general, I might not get a big thing, unless I just want brand recognition, right? However, if you want a specific piece of your market, here's what I want you to do. You can write this down because it'll be good for you. Pretend you're writing an ad and you're looking for a position to hire in your job. And pretend it's your customer. Who is your customer? What are his demographics? What is his income? Where do they live? What does he do part-time? Okay? Those kinds of things. Okay? Cross-reference those lists. Like a lot of times, if you have a company and you give out free promotions and things like that, say you sell, you send stuff that's I don't know, a gift for $10 or whatever, right? Are you going to give a gift for $100? Well, that's a lot of money, right? But if you had 1,000 people that you marketed to, say you were a specialty dog owner that had dog clothes or something, I don't know. Okay? Well, if I had a dog list, right, and I marketed to them, I might or might not hit it. But if I had a dog list, and special breeders was a certain thing, but they also got a list of a high dollar store that people shop at, now I've got a specialty dog, person spends a lot of money, and they advertise to this magazine. Now I can go send out a $50 product, because instead of sending it out to 10,000 people, where I'm going to get like 1 or 2%, I'm going to send it out to 500, where I'm going to get a 10%. Does that make sense? So if you know your target market, okay, that's the most important thing, because you can market, you can social market, you can give him all the stuff that you want to do social media, and he can do it for you. Where's the one lady that did coaching and said half the time you have to find out the right thing? I think... no, somebody in the back, I believe. Business coach. So a lot of times it's the wrong thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk to a client, and they're going to tell me how they want to get more business. They want to get more business. They want to get more business. It wasn't the more business that they needed. It was the closing percentage of it, right? Or it was the high ticket item that it was, or it was the repeat sales, like Icy Hot. They gave stuff away for free, lost a little bit of money on it, so they could have the repeat orders. Everybody that used it kept coming back. That's when they went from almost a failing company to getting consulted by Jay Abraham to being then bought out for millions and millions of dollars 2 years later. So you have to know who your target is, the right season to target them in on, and then the right media to go out to. If you don't have all that put together, then you're wasting time or dollars. Does that make sense? And also if you do that in like you said, with target marketing and with getting your presence on social media, you build the trust with somebody. Because if you don't have that trust, then they're not going to probably use you anyway, because everybody's selling the same thing you are, and trust me, everybody's the best. Everybody has testimonials. It's like my instructors. He said, well, I said, we need to work on this. He goes, well, sir, all the students that I'm talking to love it. I was like, yeah, they're still here. Talk to the students that aren't here. Why did they leave? If you talk to the guys that are here, that's why they're here, because they love it. Let's talk to the guys that left. See what I'm getting at? A lot of our market we can regain back again, too. Because a lot of your old customers can be your customers again. It's just that you didn't touch them the right way, or something in their personal lives made them drop out.
That's interesting. It reminds me of something. We used to do a ton of direct mail marketing, and we saw every kind of response rate there was, to absolutely no response to up to a 10% response rate. And when we really hit our target market really well, is we had a list of absentee owners that also either had tax lien on the property. So we were doing a mailer to buy properties from distressed homeowners, and we got a list of all the absentee owners that either had a code violation or tax problems on the house. And we used that list for 2 years straight. We were mailing between 1,000 and 2,000 pieces per week, and we averaged 2.27% over a 2-year period response rate, which if you know anything about direct mail marketing, that's about 5 times the average. And it's because the list was very targeted. We had a simple message, and we just sent it out. We kept sending it, and we would just, and that was what we averaged over time.
So check this out. So he did that. Now let's go one step further. For local people, maybe he groups up with an attorney that handles these types of cases. So now instead of him go looking for leads, he has an attorney that specializes in helping people get out of these types of problems, right? So now what he has that list, but I'm an attorney, he's an attorney here, as long as it's not privileged and confidential. I'm just giving you an example, okay, like doctors and stuff like that. But I handle this problem with people when they get to a certain point where they're going to lose their home and they're going to lose their property. I can't help them anymore. Guess who I want to help my client. This guy can help the client get out of it. You just bought a distressed business over here, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you want, if you go to a place where where people go, if they have, like if I'm selling a food, for an example, say that food helps somebody with their child's ADHD, then I want the list of all the kids taking ADHD medication, okay? Because I'm going to market to that, okay? And not only that, but who are the counselors that they work with that the ADHD medicine's not working for? Does that make sense? So your business to business and how you cross-reference what you do with what other people, somebody else's failure, they can help that person because they can turn them on to you because they can't do anything anymore. See what I'm saying? And same thing with you. If I have a person that wants a specific need, okay, like for an example, one thing that we're going to do for venture capital funding is we know a guy that gets about 10,000 inquiries a year for money. He turns down, believe it or not, he'll turn down 97% of all of them. Okay, so all I did was my partner knows him. She went to him. She goes, listen, of the 97% of the people that you turn down, I'm sure there's at least 500 to 1,000 of those clients. They're still, oh yeah, they're totally good risks, but I only want to make this much money. I put the same amount of work into it. Why make $1 million if I can make 10 million for those guys, right? And she goes, okay, well, why don't you do this? Because you don't want to spend any time. Give me those leads. We'll facilitate those other 500. We'll get them their 1 million, and we'll give you 3% for doing nothing. So take 3% of those 100 people or 500 people that are going to get $1 million. All of a sudden, he's got a little chunk of change. But he's also servicing those clients instead of saying, you know what? We won't invest in you. It's not enough. He's saying, you know what? Here's 1,000 people here's some people that can help you. And so we credit him. Everybody wins. And
as a testimonial to that. So the reason I'm laughing over here is because you say that, and I started doing that. So I started referring most of the leads I couldn't help when they called in. I was getting between 100 and 200 leads per month, and from all the different stuff I was doing, I couldn't help most of them. 90% of them I couldn't do anything with. And so I started referring them to either realtors or attorneys that could help them. And I started making more off the referral fees than I was making off of the business I did. So I pretty much stopped doing what I was doing and just started referring people and basically became a lead generation company. And I was so proficient at that, I was only working about 5 hours a week at it. And so it was a good story, and to speak to that, I was actually making more off the referrals than I was off my core business, because you know what, I'm good at the marketing stuff and kind of the big picture stuff, but the day-to-day kind of grind, I wasn't that good at it. There was other people that were better than me, so I said, hey, you know what, I'm just going to give it to them. So you never know what you might discover by working with other folks, and that was like an example.
Well, the same thing. Would you rather work 100? Don't just give me an example. I'm not saying this for your business, but would you rather work with one person 100% of the time, or get 1% of 100 people that somebody else is servicing where you don't have to spend any time? I'm not saying, I'm just giving you an example, okay? So for me, I could still teach martial arts, and my goal isn't to teach, I love doing what I'm doing. I teach for, if I never had to make enough time, I'd still always continue to teach. I'd always consult businesses, right? However, my goal isn't to teach 1,000 students in Annapolis. My goal is to reach 100,000 kids in the United States every year through some type of bullying, some type of safety or stranger danger. So when I leave the earth, it isn't that I impacted Annapolis or Anne Arundel County. It's that like right now, we're doing stuff for the school systems. I think I was speaking to the young lady that was here, Tanja McCoy. So we probably donated $15,000 to $20,000 last year to the school system. We go in and we teach the kids, and if we charge a little bit amount, and I give it all back to the schools, or we go in and we teach for free, And so that's my big picture, And it's one more thing. I worked with an attorney, and he did high-level cases. And he did not like doing the drunk driving stuff and the divorce stuff. He just didn't like it. But there was so much business. But it was so much work for just $500 to $1,000. He said it wasn't worth his time. What he did, I can't tell you who it is, but he took ads out in all the yellow pages around. So he gets tons of calls. What he does with those, he doesn't do any of them. Gets the calls in his office, sends it to an attorney that he has a relationship with that's vetted. They do a great job. If I give you the business for the $1,000, he's paying tons of money on Yellow Pages. He gets 25% of that, okay? And now he's got like 5,000 cases being done that he doesn't have to do anything except forward the phone number. So he might be paying $16,000 or $25,000, or I think it's $30,000 a month in Yellow Page ads, But he's making about $100,000 a month off commissions without doing any work. So again, you just have to structure your business, right? And most of the people that you can't help, somebody else can, so you can benefit from that.
If you build your business as scalable, you can have a much bigger impact.
I guess I'm stuck at the next point of how to find a joint venture. Do you cold call people? I kind of want to partner with doctors who understand the whole part of wellness, like maybe a concierge doctor or something like that. But these giant practices, I can't even get into that.
Well, it depends,
totally
though.
Overwhelming.
Well, let me give you here's how it depends. So if you walk up to a business for an example, if I wanted to hook up with, say, Oprah Winfrey for something, right? It'd be impossible to do it, right?
Yeah.
But if I find out what her charity and her passion is, and then I start partaking in doing that, and I meet the key people there that already know her, and I'm making a big impact on that, donations or doing whatever I can to help, then what ends up happening is that person gets to know me, and then later I can get to know her. And one of the guys, Bill, that I trained with for a long time, always says, give something with the expectation of nothing in return.
Well, sure.
And then what happens is the people that you meet, and the two most important things you can do to run any business is be able to build relationships, okay, and keep them, okay, to network, okay, because most people, like in social media, they do the same thing in social media. First they get on social media, immediately they ask for something, right? So we say social media, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I'm not a social media expert, but if you have a party, if you have a party at your house, and I come to your house, and I walk up to your front door and say, hi, my name's Tommy Lee. This is my business. I can help you. I'm like, get the hell out of my house. But if I come up to you and say, hey, you have a beautiful home, and I work myself into the living room because you're having a networking party, and then I work myself over back to the den area where now we're having kind of a private conversation, and then we walk outside because we built a relationship. Now I can ask for something.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get all that, and I feel like I can't work myself in.
Right. So,
like as you do.
so then what you do is you get a whiteboard, and you do this either for marketing, joint ventures, or anything, and you put up all the people that you can think that can help you. Then you circle the people that you know that can help you, and you can help them. Right. Then cross off the people that you know that maybe they don't fit the right reputation for you. Then you've got those people. Then you go back and say, okay, I got 3 groups of doctor groups can I have. This one's local, this one's here. Do I know anyone or any connections that can get me within there? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's how you start building it out. You have your big board up. You start pinning them down, looking at it. Then you say, if I do get that group, how much time am I going to have to spend, and what do I expect to make from it? Well, you might say it might take 2 years to get it, and you might not make much. Well, then you don't want that one.
Danny, what are some things along those lines that, from social media perspective, is there anything there that you could add, like, to building relationships or getting to know someone that you might want to network with on LinkedIn or wherever?
I guess the biggest thing I'm thinking about is there's a lot of different type of people in here that sell different things, different products, different services. So the way they go about collecting leads or collecting opportunities is going to be different. So, for instance, some of the guys that are in technology, they may go for numbers. They want to bring on 100 clients, 200 clients, 300 clients. So the way they obtain clients is going to be different from this young lady who's, okay, she wants to work, pretty much it's a relationship type of business concept. So for a situation like that, when I was early in networking and being self-employed, my last job was working for a custom software application development firm, and I worked for a guy who taught me how to network. And basically what he did was he told me, he gave me a list of like 100 people. He said, I want you to go out and meet with these people and have a one-on-one with them. And basically what you're doing is you're just getting together and you're having conversation, figuring out what the other person does, and then trying to the best of your ability to provide some type of value in that relationship. As I went further along, I got a little more ambitious, and I was like, I'm going to start some groups myself. I also got on the board of this and the board of that, and became the president of this and the president of that, and I started an organization called Baltimore Business Networking. They probably have like 9,000 members now. Started Think Big Baltimore. So people sort of, when they see you kind of moving in the market and putting on events and bringing people together, then they want to trust you and they want to work with you. So it varies. If you're going after, it sounds to me like you want to work with big practices. Well, asking Tommy, who has an expertise in that area, is a very solid way to get there. I would first reflect upon myself to see, okay, am I able to provide this service that I want to sell to these people, to the big practice? And if I can answer myself yes, then I can confidently go to Tom and say, Tom, I know you know some of these people. How do I reach them? And then Tom will say, well, here's, from step 1 to 10, here's how you're going to reach these people. Follow these steps. And that becomes your experience. And then you build from your experience, somebody else is going to come to you and ask you the same thing. But asking somebody else how to do something is, the best way. And there's, there are principles to business, but You know, there's a way to do it, and confidence, I think, is part of it. And you know, I think everybody can be a salesperson. By the way, I don't think you have to be that type A shark salesperson. Having a solid idea about your business and being proficient at it makes you a natural salesperson. So when somebody has a need and you can provide that need, then that's a natural sales process right there.
Well, you actually aren't a salesperson. You're an educator and a problem solver. So like I teach, that's what I teach, sales, overcoming objections, the whole 9 yards. So people that never took my courses before looked at me like, okay, he's a sales guy. People that went through my course knew that it's a series of questions that you ask to find out what they're looking for and you solving their problems. Then it's not anything about selling. It's just about when can you get them started if they can afford it. Then if they can't afford it, how can you budget it out for them? For you particularly, what you say is, well, these are the doctors that I want to be able to get because I can do this. What you should say also is, okay, I want those clients. How can I benefit their patients to keep them their patients longer, okay, or benefit them? Because once you can start, like, if I have a whole network of people that all of you guys, the IT world, can use, so I can give you my guys, okay? Not that I want something in return. It might not be financial. I want to help my guy. So if I'm consulting and I know that I've got some IT guys that can help them, then all the information I give them to grow their business, if they're spending 25% of their time and 10% of their money fixing issues, they're not growing. If I can hand them over to a what I call vetted vendor, okay, and give them to you, then I know that he has to worry less, can spend more on marketing now and more on growing as a business. Because everybody that's here wears multiple hats. Okay? And that's the problem. Everybody thinks that because they do this good, they can go open their own business. But what they've done good 100% of the time for another company, now they can only do 25% of the time because the other time's on payroll and rent and marketing and negotiating and legal issues and legal problems and all those other kinds of things. So how can those patients benefit, but how can the doctors benefit from you being involved in their life? Does that make sense? So everybody in here has that, and once you can identify that, then when you have a JV, talk about JVs, then it's a win-win. And then you continually, as long as you do good and ethical business, continue to go. I don't have to advertise. We get so many referrals at the martial arts school. We just moved into a new facility and we're already full again. Okay? Could I use more? Sure. So it gets to a certain point, and I haven't done it, but I should. You raise your price. Okay? And I haven't, but I can. I can raise it $10 or $20, and all of a sudden my income times 800 goes up a lot. But I don't need to, and I'm not going to right now. See what I'm getting at? Or you can open more facilities. You know, so it just depends on what you're looking for. You have to benefit the person that you're JVing, though.
You were talking earlier, I mean, my desire is to break out of the homeschool market. But a lot of the marketing things that you're saying sound more like find your perfect customer and market directly to them.
Right.
Well, for the books that I record and the subject that I record, homeschooling is the perfect market for me.
Your market is everybody that has a message, to be honest with you. It is. Think about this. If you record his services, her services, your services, if you go over there and give her, like, say, do an hour's worth of taping, block it off into 12 key components and subjects across the year, take those components and put it on your Facebook and your blogs, take a little bit of those Facebooks and blogs and put them on Twitter. You've just given her a marketing campaign for an entire year. Now your advertising gears toward whatever that subject is, so that when they read about you, when they hear you, you're giving them that message. If I advertise, say for an example, just for an example.
I'm reading her script, is that what you're
No.
implying? No, okay.
No, I'm saying you record stuff.
Yes.
You are for every single person in this room that has a message to give. There's not one person in here that owns a business that can't benefit from putting something on there to help somebody else on the internet. We already discussed this, like with social media, with like nanny services and things like that, right? How can we get the message out? So you can record that, capture that, okay? And that's what's important. You know, what they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000,000 words, right? So, you know.
To piggyback on that, I often, I sometimes deal with clients that perform a certain type of business, type of service or sell a product, and they can't be in 100 places at the same time. For instance, one gentleman started a company called CEO IQ. He worked with big business on coaching, upper management, on a variety of different subjects. He's getting older. You know, he's in his 60s, and he's like, I can't deal with all the traveling around the country, and also big business is spending less on travel. They're spending less money on sending their people to go somewhere to train. How do I make it so that, you know, I can pull back and still be able to have a business that makes money? So going to what you're saying, you know, you can talk to a variety of people, not just homeschooling. I mean, if you want to stick in that niche, you can do that as well, but you can expand out, meaning you can develop a website that basically is a teaching, it's basically a school on how to do what it is that you do. And instead of...
I wrote my first ebook a couple of weeks ago on that very topic.
So basically, instead of coming in and recording this situation here, you can teach people to record their own situations. With a coach, you know, there's, you know, 12 methods to coaching, or 6 methods, or, you know, there's this package that, you know, testing, there's, you know, a variety of different procedures to go through. Then there's actual, you know, you have to do some talking to people. So CEO IQ, the guy has about 180 video pieces with experts on certain topics, and then certain types of, then there's paperwork involved in it as well. So, you know, one session might be about venture capital. So he's got a venture capital expert with him doing a video, and then he has an exercise, you know, how to assess the situation, see if, you know, how do you qualify, what things you need to do to qualify, where is your business at, so forth and so on. So you're building out a process online with this website, which it will take some time and it'll take some resources, or you can just buy a process that's been done already and fill in your content, because there's places like that online as well. You don't need to custom build things anymore these days, especially with the advent of WordPress. You can buy a process that's been built already and then just plug in your content. If you don't have content, then you can go on Crowd Content, which is a platform that you can buy content from. You can buy anywhere between 6 cents to 12 cents a word. Somebody can write about particular subjects to help you sort of articulate what you're trying to say. I mean, there's a lot of different resources out there and different ways to do what it is you're trying to do, or to learn how to do something different. And the biggest thing is sort of putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, and letting people know where you're at, and then trying to find a different solution to it. You know?
Also ask why. Can I ask you this question? Why do you want to venture out and do other things from the homeschool? What's the main reason?
I mostly want to take my existing product line and make it available outside of the homeschool market, just to generate. I mean, you said that.
When I'm talking about we talk about targeting the perfect client, I'm going to target you on your perfect reason. So everybody uses this in your own business. So why do you want
more money?
More money. So it's not that you want to go out in more markets; it's that you want to have more money. So my question for you is, my question for you first is knowledge. How many homeschool places are there across the country? Tons.
Tons.
What percentage of that market do you have?
I don't know what the percent.
1%, 3%.
I've got 8,000 people on my email list.
How many are buying from you?
Pardon?
How many are buying from you?
I don't know that.
First,
answer
that question.
So here's what I'm getting at. What a lot of us do is you're the expert in your area. You've already got it. You've already got testimonials. For the same time that you put into opening a new line, if you go to your current line and you identify, okay, there's 8,000 people on my list, but there's 50,000, 100,000 people out there. Number one, how do I get those other 100,000? Okay. Number two, how do I get, well, I don't even know what I have, but out of the 8,000, I've got 700 clients. How do I make that 1,400 clients? Because then you just doubled your money without doing anything different, investing anything else, going out to trying to make new markets and new content. So my goal is, a lot of people said I want more money, and it's not even the money. They want what the money can give them, which is time, which is with their family, which is vacations, which is being able to put somebody in a good school, right? So what you have to really identify is why you're about to do that motion. Does that make sense? Because, and I'm not saying don't go get more markets, okay? But what I'm saying, and the other coaching aspect of it, like you just said, when I was going to duplicate myself in the consulting field, okay, what I was going to do, because I have masterminds, like I'll take 12 people and we'll turn their business around in 90 days. It's easy because I only have 12. right? So, but then I said, okay, well, I don't want to do that every single month. So I said, okay, out of those 12, who's the really sharp guys that turn around their business? And are they in Colorado? Can they host those meetings? So then I use my reputation. They buy my material, but guess who hosts and facilitates those meetings? He does. So now instead of me doing like 8 a year, I'm doing 8, making 100% of it, but now I've got 2 people in each state. Now there's 100 more going on, right? And I make 25% of that. That's tons more than I'm doing, and they're doing all the work. So like you said, you can teach the other people how to do the video. You could help other life coaches. So there's a lot of ways that you can expand within your own business. But the first thing you have to do is identify, what are you looking for? More money, or more time, or more net? See, it doesn't matter. If you're making, say you're making $250 a year right now, and so you want to make, $300,000 a year. So that extra $50,000, you say, how can I make that? Where can I go? You can do it that way, or you can say, of the $250 I'm making, how can I provide the same value and shave off 50 grand? Now I made 300,000 profit. Okay, so it doesn't matter how much money we take in. It matters how much money we take home after the government takes what we got. That's where she comes in, right? So see, what I'm getting at is everybody here can plug in to whatever you have. The CFO, that's great. They have, how much is it going to cost you to go get a consultant to do that? Ton. How much will it take if it's the same kind of thing like the CFOs and a lot of around the country, they have all these chief executive, COOs, CFOs. They even have a guy that says CWO, chief web officer, and he made his own niche. Okay, and so I can plug him into my business. For 3 months, we're really good. We got the numbers. I let it slide. I know what to do, but you know what? I don't have the time to research it. You're the expert. What it'll cost for you to come in and do this for me for 3 months? So he turns around my company for me. The CFO is what? They're already vetted. They've already done something versus a consultant you never heard about that educates you a little bit on the internet and gave you a good sales pitch, right? So everybody here can multiply your business going in a different market or reaching within your own market. Or for what you did, sir, he has the printing company. What he did was he bought a company that was going out to add a product line that he didn't already have that he can existing service his customers for more products. There's only a few ways you make more money. Charge more, have more customers, or have them purchase more.
And you see large companies do this all the time. They use economies of scope. They're selling to their existing customers. They're working within their niche to get everything they can out of that all the time. Matt, you had a question?
For in the financial services industry, but I'm working within an industry which we actually generate the leads. We take government data, add a few additional pieces of information, and it becomes a time-sensitive lead for a specific type of client. So service providers, pest control operators, those types of things. So we market to the people that can actually solve the problems for those customers. But every type of customer, or every customer sees us as, well, we are a reputable company in what we do. Data brokers are used car salesmen, they're snake oil salesmen. Same thing when I ran a credit card processing company. There's a million people just running around screwing people over left and right. Credibility with people that you're coming into, but also, interacting with on a very short-term basis. So this is kind of the question.
Did you get that?
What I thought I heard I can answer to is
I didn't
your
understand your question.
So basically, you're developing time-sensitive leads for pest control companies.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
but there's other people in the industry who do similar things that are not reputable,
right,
and they're discrediting the industry. So when we approach customers, they look at us like we're just the average.
Because you got to when you approach them, you educate them.
Yes.
So say, okay. Go ahead. Okay, so I'm going to go to you, and if I come to you, if I can pitch you,
sure.
If I'm doing this, say, great. Instead of saying, here's our service, I say, when you look for a pest control, when you look for leads, these are the 4 things that you want to make sure a company has. These are the 4 things that you want to steer clear about. And then you educate that person. And then when you finish your things, then of course you're being credible to you. But so what are the 3 things that always happen to people that get ripped off? That's the first thing you've got to identify before you build your sales presentation or your education presentation. So now in the marketing pieces, these are the things that you look for, and here's the problems that you solve. You see what I'm getting at? And here are the clients, for an example. I don't know how many databases people you have, but then what you do is if you already know those are the 3 biggest things, when you send them material, when they go to your website, those 3 testimonials overcome those major objections. Before you ever get there, you can say, I can say anything about Tom Ely I want, okay? But as soon as he says something about me, it's different. I can write my own book. All of a sudden they think I'm an expert. Or I can do one better than that. I can co-author a chapter in somebody's book that's already reputable because he wouldn't let me in his book unless I was. That's better than my own book. You see what I'm getting at? So when you do those things, find out why people do not want to buy, figure out who are the clients that you've already helped, have them be able to give an audio testimonial recorded or written down, put it out there, put it on the internet. When somebody contacts you as a lead and they check off, I'm interested in these 3 things, when you send them back, have a link to those 3 testimonials. So they're already purchasing you before they ever get there. I'm redesigning my entire martial arts business so that when you set up an appointment to come into me, it'll be done in about another 6 weeks. When I email you back, I'm going to email you back and say, listen, we're really looking forward to seeing you when you come in. Here's a 2-minute thing of what you're going to go through. So they can, now they're warm because they see the inside, they see a teacher, they see a couple of lessons and a testimonial. They're already warm when they walk in, where before they might have been a little bit hesitant. Does it make sense? If they were going to go visit 3 schools, they're going to visit me anyway because they've seen my face now in a warm environment, right? So the video and social media and all that other stuff can help you, but I'd identify the 3 problems.
It's good that you know what the objections are. Now you just have to address them. Yeah, it's 8:30. I want to respect everybody's time. There's a Ravens game on, I think. So. Everyone's checking the score. Let's just wrap it up with one thing. 60 seconds. What's something that somebody could do, or a good advertising campaign that you've seen in the last 12 months, or something that's worked like gangbusters in the last 12 months? What's something that everyone could do, or I don't know, that's worked that you've seen? Is there anything?
I mean, it's to me, it's so broad. It all depends on the client, and then.
Oh, that's fine. Give me a specific example of a client.
So I'm going to narrow it down. What we're gearing our company more and more to is web presence. So what that means, when you go searching for something, we help our clients be found. So if you do a Google look, a Google search, what we've done is we've taken your information and put that information on all of Google's platforms, and all of Bing's platforms, and all of Yahoo's platforms, all of Yelp's platforms, all of Google Reviews, PDF platforms, forums, blogs. I mean, we're taking your information and putting it into a certain geography on every place that it can be found. We're utilizing press releases. We're utilizing constant data. We're doing exactly what Google says for us to do in order to like you, and so that when they index your information, somebody goes looking for something, you can be found. So basically, it's for us, it's the web presence game. It's taking your information and putting it in relevant places, and then having high value content that Google likes because you've done your homework. Your website on-page optimization is done correctly based on Google's criteria. You're doing organic SEO, you're putting new content out, you're utilizing social media because Google says, look, if you use social media adequately and are getting responses, then we will raise your SEO value as well. So I can keep going, and I'm not going to do that to you guys.
No, that's good stuff, man.
You can take this model, because I'll give you the one reference, okay? Take this model and build it to give them a message in order to bring them in, or you can use your own newsletters. Somebody raise their hand on what they do that I haven't heard from real quick. What do you do? Yes.
I have office space, turnkey office space.
Okay. Somebody else? Give me 3 people.
Crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding, who else?
Software solutions.
Okay, so any one of those 3. Okay, let's just take the crowdfunding for an example. Okay, but any of you guys. If you could get your targeted client and give them your services or your advice for free, whether it's on a webinar or inside a room, how many people do you think you can get in? If it's a local business, how many people could you, in the military for an example, how many people could you pack on these chairs if you had the right platform on putting it out to offer them something that they're looking for, if you're going to give them free advice? Could you pack 20 people in a room?
Yeah.
Could you pack 100 people on a webinar across the country? That's your first thing. Those are all leads. You can go market anywhere you want, but you're going to give the advice that people are looking for. So now they fill your room. So you give them the proper advice and build a relationship with them. Okay? You're not paying money for the advertising. Okay? You got to get out there. So whether you do it for paid getting out there, do it for, web presence, Google and social media, whether you do it through your newsletter, or whether you do it through whatever. For an example, I'll give you a quick one. I want to give a free seminar back to school to teach kids how not to get bullied. I could either advertise in magazines, or I can go up to a church that has 2,500 people, offer something either free, where those people can come, or even better than free, if they give a $25 donation to their church because they want to do it anyway, okay, then they can give a $25 donation. The church is going to sponsor something to keep their kids safe. I'll get more people by saying pay $25 to your church. Now they've paid it so they'll show up, and now I might have 50 people there. Make sense? So how many people can you guys get your clients to where you offer those for what you do, to either on a teleconference or on a webinar or here in a room? Give them the information for free that they want. Don't ask anything of them when you're finished. Build a relationship. However, for those of you that are interested, you can come here. So it's not a pitch fest. It's an educational process, and for those that are interested, I can help you out, but I just wanted to be able to give back to you guys. But before you leave, you say, what are some of the other hot topics on your mind? Great. Well, guess what? Next month I'm going to do this too. So how many people would like to come back next month? Great. Then you get them to bring a friend. So, I mean, you can build those, like if you said the one thing that you can do is give your stuff like I talked about for free to help somebody and fill the room with leads versus paying somebody for a lead that may or may not call.
Speaking of which, if you guys have ideas for topics for this group, please just post them up on the meetup group, because we have some stuff lined up, but man, we're really looking for feedback on that stuff. So if there's like topics that you guys want
So
to
it's
hit,
good.
so absolutely.
No, thanks, guys.
Cool. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. This is really good.
There's a couple people, I don't know who, I can't remember who you were, and I can't remember what it was, but there's like 4 cards that I need to use your service.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot who they were because they said it so fast.
Just everybody, give them a
Yeah,
card.
give me your card.
just in case.
I want to
They're
sift
gonna
through.
give
There's like
cards,
4
right.
people that I wanted to ask for their card.
Right. Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go eat. I'm hungry.